we represent, together with my co-author Oleksii Andreyev, he is also here, we represent a short paper which we gave the name the Golden Façades, Fourrées imitating 8th century dinars from Ukraine. And actually, the purpose of this paper is to present and introduce to the scientific circulation information about the gilded imitations of 8th century caliphate dinars, all originating from Ukraine. As we will see below, all described coins were discovered in the different context. Some of them in archaeological context, some of them unfortunately not. They differ in technological, stylistic, and their metric details. And in fact, the only thing that unites them, that all of them, with a high level of probability, were found in the territory of modern Ukraine. A few words about the gold imitations of caliphate coins for those of the colleagues who may be not that close to the subject. I may tell that of course, the research on caliphate coinage in Eastern Europe and in Europe at all has a very extensive bibliography, and this research was covering mainly silver coins and their imitations. Many of our colleagues here have had a lot of papers and books about the exchange of silver between Islamic Caliphate and different European and non-European territories. Somehow the circulation of gold dinars were a little bit off the main focus, perhaps due to the limited number of the finds. And if we speak about a discussion for the Western European part of our continent, a lot of discussion actually was going about so-called mancuses or mancusi, the coins which were described in existence closer to the end of the 8th century, and Grierson wrote about them, and many of our colleagues wrote about them. Almost all pointing to the material such as a text from Paul the Falconer, Bond himself, not to go back, I'm sorry, I don't want to go to so many details because I have a limited time, but here we gave a site from the historical perspective. And a little bit later, Lutz Illich provided a very thorough paper trying to provide more details about this so-called mancuses or solidi mancuses, as they were called then. And Lutz offered following the suggestion of Al-Hamdani to see the name of these coins to be derived from Arabic verb nakasha in the form of mankush, which perhaps was used as a form of mancus in Europe. I know there are some colleagues who do not support this idea about mancus, but our paper is not about them. Mainly we talk about this type of the coins to show some connections below. Also, Lutz offered the typology of the coins which were known to him, and these coins were found in a number later were represented in different auction houses with the new finds from the different areas of Western Europe. Speaking about Transcaucasian and Eastern European territory, we may say that the area of caliphate gold coin circulation and circulation of their imitations were mainly underexplored. Vyacheslav Kuleshov in 2009 he made analytical report, and he was able to catalog about 14 dinars of the 8th century. It's not only dinars, but also imitations of dinars across the 9 sites within the territory of ex-Soviet Union and what he calls Eastern Europe. It's interesting that Vyacheslav mentions that all the recorded finds except one are from the territory of the Khazar Khaganate. For purposes of our paper or our presentation, it's important to note one coin from territory of Ukraine, Autonomous Republic of Crimea. It's a coin of imitative nature, which was on number 6 in Kuleshov list. Originally, it was described as Abbasid dinar of 138, but later Ukrainian archaeologist Sidorenko reattributed it as a Khazar imitation of 168 age of Hijri, possibly originating from Taman. The coin is now in the collection of Crimean Historical Museum. Another coin important for our presentation is the coin number 8 from the same list of Kuleshov. Coin was originally published by Fyodorov Davidov in 1985. The coin is described by Kuleshov as found in the Republic of Dagestan. In one of the tombs, found a copper coin plated with gold, imitating the Umayyad dinar of 114 Hijri. To complete our picture about Transcaucasian Caucasian region, we decided to include here a small group from Zino, which was uploaded there in 2012 by Yevgeny Goncharov. And the group was originally and still described there as a group of original Umayyad dinars with one imitation. Plus, according to the report, the group was accompanied by the Abbasid files of Yazidiyya 150. When one looks closely to the dinars, which originally was thought to be original, one may see that all of them are actually of imitative nature. We put here the images for you to consider that, but it's still clear to see that they stay quite away from the official style of the caliphate. You may see some perhaps gilding was done in the ancient time, and you see the basic materials going to the surface of these coins, and there are some minor mistakes, and all at all we have a big group of imitative dinars originating from the also territory of the Khazar Khaganate. Speaking about Ukraine, and this is a map of our country. As we see, the finds of 8th century dinars and imitations were almost completely out of the attention of numismatists, except the one coin. Unfortunately, we cannot represent any finds of dinars of what we would say the official dinars of the caliphate. We know a few reports about such dinars found in Ukraine, but all of them were without any provenance. So we decided to discard this information, as there is always a chance that information is not true. So we concentrated only on those finds which we have a high level of understanding. They were discovered on Ukrainian territories. Interesting that archaeologists before were reporting these coins in their reports, but somehow reports of archaeologists were left, as I mentioned already, out of the attention of numismatists. Also, what is noteworthy is that on Ukrainian territories, we can find both imitations of Umayyad and Abbasid types, which we think is important because originally, when we started this paper, we thought that only Abbasid types would be present. due to the nature of discussion on when first the caliphate coins were able to reach territory of Ukraine, and presence of a big number of earlier Umayyad imitations perhaps may suggest that coins were reaching the territory much faster and much earlier than it was believed before. We also believe this as evidence of local population and engaging in interaction with the gold coinage issued by the caliphate. So first, we would like to represent the coin with a clear archaeological context. Fourrées imitating the Umayyad dinar originates from excavation of Верхний Saltovsky burial ground 3. Верхний Saltovsky burial ground is actually a big and famous burial ground from Saltiv-Mayakiv archaeological culture, which is now closely associated with Khazar Khaganate. It was discovered by Borodulin in 1992. That time, archaeologists didn't understand, unfortunately, what he found, and in his report, he described it simply as a bronze disc with the holes. But when we were able to get an access to the report and later to the coin itself, one clearly can see that it's a coin imitating a standard Umayyad dinar. Here, we provide, for the sake of the reference and easy of reference, we give some arbitrary numbers to these coins, like Umi 1 is for Umayyad imitations, and later we will use AB for the Abbasid imitations. It's just arbitrary numbers to make the reference of presentations easier to follow. I don't want to go very close to describe the archaeological description of the coin, just to mention that it has two sort of holes. Current weight is 191 gram and diameter 19 millimeter, which is well known to all specialists in on early caliphate coinage, knowing that the dinars of caliphates usually were about 19 millimeters in their diameter. We cannot determine the date of prototype, but we believe that it should be somewhere in the range of 101, 109 Hijri. The coin is here. It's already after some clearing, because originally it was completely in patina and the level of dirt. So we are grateful to our colleague in Kharkiv, Oleksii Laptev, who took it from the funds and cleared it for this paper. I don't know how well you see on your screens, but it's quite clear. It's quite clear, but the remnants of inscriptions that it's an imitation of what we would call standard Umayyad dinar. The second coin, which we put like Umi 2, is Fourrées imitating dinar also from Ukraine. It was found, according to the founder, at Zmiivsky district of Kharkiv region as a part of agricultural works, and we may estimate it's about 60 kilometers from the location of the first coin. The coin is a gilded base of low tin bronze, reproducing the standard Umayyad dinar. Among the impurity elements, less than 1% in the bronze are silver, nickel, arsenic, lead, and zinc, which are characteristic for bronze. Also, according to the visual characteristic and composition, we assume that the coin has corrosion structure of type 2. In the current condition, the coin weighs 131 gram and has a diameter of 18 millimeter, measuring in the widest point. Unfortunately, due to its condition, it's impossible to determine the date of the prototype. And the coin is here. You see that again, unfortunately, the current condition is quite damaged, but still it's possible thanks to Al-Ikhlas on the reverse. We can safely consider to be imitating Umayyad dinar. It was studied under my colleague studied it under microscope and also made analysis with by XRF methodology. So we provide here also what we see about this coin with undestructive methods. We were not able to find the traces of mercury, so we are not sure if it was made with amalgamation or by different methods. And we see that it's tin bronze with inclusion of some minor elements. Next two imitations are quite interesting because both of them were found in the same catacomb burial ground, catacomb number 30. If the first was catacomb number 25, this two is catacomb number 30, investigated by archaeologist Aksionov, and in the time of found, again, he just describes them as the two copper pendant coins. Later, his younger colleague, Alexei Laptev, in his article also described these coins, but in his publications, he considered him fulus. And these coins, we give these coins arbitrary numbers UMI3 and UMI4. When we studied these coins, we revealed the very unusual imitations of Umayyad coins. I would say most probably of dinars, but first there is no discernible traces of gilding, and we will speak about these coins in a little bit more details because they're really quite unusual. They have an attachment of manista type, and also what is interesting that the coins, both coins are struck in medallic orientation. So the loops on both coins located approximately on the same place, 12 o'clock. And if somebody were wearing them, the observer would be able to read without problem inscription from either side, reverse or obverse of the coin. So it's again a little bit unusual that the coin was struck. Both coins actually were struck with keeping the position of dice in the oriented direction. So this is these two imitations, UMI3. Is 19.3, 19.7 millimeters and 1.18 grams. And sorry, it's a mistake here. And UMI4 imitation 1.50 grams and diameter of 18.8, 19.3 gram. You may see that together they are very similar. Perhaps they were made with the same dice, but we were not able to confirm it, as there are some unclearance on the surfaces. But some properties of these imitations already stay out. First of all, you may see two. Let me go. Sorry. I'll go back. Excuse me. You may see two stars in the field of obverse of the coin, which is very unusual feature for any coins of Umayyad mintage. And it's also unusual that we see that Bismillah, the text which proclaims the date and sometimes the mint of the coins, is located on the obverse, which is normal feature for dirhams, but very unusual for the dinars of Umayyad Caliphate. Going further, that is what we would like to show. We were trying to understand the reading of the nomination, and as its imitation, first we were trying to read it like a mistake in the word of dinar when the letter ra was put in the wrong position, making it something like al dinar. Maybe I don't know how to put it, but later we just thought that maybe it was an idea to render the word dirham. And but again, there is not enough, not clear on the both coins the I'm not sure I cannot show my mouse here, but if you see this part, which is important, is not clear on the both coins. And what you see here is a dark part. It's actually a shadow. So here is no a loop, which one would expect if it would be a meme for dirham. As already mentioned, the Bismillah is located on the obverse. It seems that there is also presence of the mint. We had a big discussion about that, but we believe there is a presence of the mint, which would be normal for dirhams, but usually emitted on dinars of this period. Stars I already mentioned, and we got a hypothesis that maybe we got this imitations trying to imitate the hypothetical Umayyad nis half dirhams, but the problem for us is that we never seen and we don't know any nis for silver Umayyad coinage, though we know of course already about the nis for Abbasid period, which would be later. And again, we tried to provide the reading of Bismillah, trying to get the prototype of mint. We may suggest that it's just like some letters without meaning, but it would be strange suggestion, as the other texts are quite, I would say, quite readable. So we got two ideas. The first idea is that the mint should be read like Karash. Actually, there is a small town in Iran, a quite old town, with such a name, to the road to Kazvin, from Al-Ray to Kazvin. But again, the question is very questionable reading. Another idea was to read the mint like just car, and the last letter to read like fi sana. Which formula exists for Umayyad dirhams and dinar, but in this way the mint al-kar or al-kara, it's known for the Umayyad silver coins, and it's published by Michael Klatt, but it's a single coin, and this coin is, as I know now, believed to be unconfirmed. So for us, it's still a challenge to understand what the mint was copied or they were trying to reproduce here. There's numerous mistakes. If you look closer, there is numerous mistakes in the text, especially in the text of Al-Ikhlas. For example, we see here that again that in the place where the one expect Allah to be written, it's something like closer to Illah or Lillahu, and some other mistakes which I don't want to use the time now. So there's a few more features which shows that these coins are not simply copies of some unknown Umayyad dinar or dirham or nis, but they were made specially for the sake of these pieces or for the other usage. And we see that they were made with very professional engraver hand, but still with some mistakes which we cannot explain right now. Following, we would like to introduce the imitations of Abbasid dinars from Ukraine, and we begin also with the coin from the archaeological context, because we think it's important first to have the good provenance for such imitations. We represent a copper coin from the inventory of cremation ground, burial ground, Balka Sukhaha Milsha, also in the Kharkiv region of Ukraine. Few words about this region. This region is a part of, again, of Saltiv Mayakiv archaeological culture, and this culture is known for for couple of different burial traditions. It's a catacomb tradition which we represented first for the coins of Umayyad, imitating Umayyad dinars. And there are also tradition of cremation, which is also in the same archaeological zone, but perhaps a different ethnicity. So it's important to understand that archaeologists believe it's the same, culturally the same representation of peoples of Khazar Khaganate. But if about catacombs, almost everyone thinks that catacombs represent Alans, and is the Alan population of Khaganate. For the cremation burials, there is still a lot of debates, and researchers believe that they may belong to Slavs, to Khazars, the Turks, meaning Agus Turks, Kasogis, and so on. Speaking about the coin itself, it was found by archaeologist Golubov, who correctly described it as imitation of Abbasid dinar 135. One may see it, and all the inscriptions seem completely legit. So the coin very closely resembles the original coin. Golubov explicitly states the coin most likely in ancient times was gold-plated. But gold evaporated under influence of high temperature, because in this cremation rituals, all the body and all the materials were put under the fire, and it's even strange that this imitation survives the high temperature of cremation. Following imitation, which we put under the name AB2, we were able to check it also with chemical and other methods, including SEM-EDC and XRF, all undestructive methods. So we see the Fourrées imitating the Abbasid dinar of actually 160s. The condition of the coin is not that perfect in the way to see if it has any mistakes or any differences to the original coin which it might imitating. But one may notice the unusual prolonged tail of the letter Ra in the word dinar. We don't know if it's really a mistake of the writing, or maybe it's just an effect because part of the gilding was lost in this place. And the coin was found very recently in January 2024. What makes it staying apart? It was found in the Zubkiv village, Lviv region, which is western Ukraine, and it's we would say it's completely other part of the country. If the first imitations were originating from the east of the country, northeast of the country, this comes from the west, closer to the western border. Unfortunately, this coin was not accompanied by any contemporary material, and we have no idea to which culture it might belong, and who and how might even lost it. It's made of quaternary bronze. The bronze is gilded by what we believe non-amalgam method, because we don't see mercury, and corrosion structure of type 1 is observed, which is characterized by high accumulation of tin oxides in the upper layer of patina due to the decuprification, meaning that the coin perhaps was in the high chloride soils. Again, the major elements, the bronze has by copper and stannum in a big number. Also quite a lot of lead and zinc. Again, corrosion structure shows very high level of tin, about 20-30%, which may describe more about the conditions where the coin was was kept during these centuries. Here is a few photographies under microscope to make it more visible and to show few features of the coin, including the hole. And we believe the coin was lost because here is a crack that's perhaps it's just what we would call the lost artifact, not buried. Another very interesting Fourrées, which we gave the name AB3, is gilded with visually different color shade comparing to the previous coins. It's 19 millimeter diameter and weight 1.84 grams. It's interesting that it's imitating Abbasid dinar of 157. And this 157 is very peculiar date. Before it was when we spoke about Mancusi originally. Somehow 157 is a date where the a majority of Mancusi of the first and I believe second type by Illich were produced in Europe, and I put this put a quotation here from his article, where he shows that 157 Hijri was a year with relatively high minting output of Abbasid gold coinage, but the frequency of the date 157 Hijri on the imitative Mancusi far exceeds the frequency of the year 177 in hoard finds and so on. So it might be just coincidence, but we decided to put attention to this. Chemical composition of the coin is given in this table. It was made from the copper, and we believe it was struck from the almost clear copper with extremely minor inclusion of elements like silver, nickel, and arsenic. And it's definitely an amalgamation method, because we see the traces, strong traces of mercury with a ratio 0.02. Here is some additional analysis, because we decided to make additional analysis about gilding and presence of silver impurities. I think it's interesting to those of the colleagues who are more in analytical methods of studying the coinage and archaeological artifacts. Here is under microscope. You see that the gilding has quite a good level, and if you see the remnants of the letters, they seem looking almost legit. Some patina here, but again, even on the microscopic images, one may see that the coin is made of copper and not bronze, which is noticeable. If comparing it to Mancusi, there is a number of similarities, especially we will show now that a typically rounded loop of the Arabic letter dot in the word Duriba, and there is there is absence of tens in the date, which is also a feature of Mancusi. On the other hand, for the Mancusi, which we know from Europe, there is usually dotted points in the place of hundreds in the date. While here on this coin, we cannot see this. There are some mistakes, like mistakes in the word Allah, which is rather written like something like, let's say, Lilil, or I don't know how to put it. And there is some, I would say, unsuccessful to rounded shape of the Arabic letter Ha in the word Hada, and so on. So I think it will be easier to see it here. We put here our coin, and we got a Mancus not from the article of Lutz Illich, but it was published on Zeno for X Baldwin auction. It's one of the coin which this type Lutz described it as the first type of Mancusi, and one may see some noticeable similarities like here. Of course, is not the same stamp, but we see that the way the letters are written are very close. Also here we see that both inscription miss the word Allah, and they just render some letters. So again, we don't imply, and we cannot say for sure that we have imitation of Mancus, but on the other hand, we didn't want to keep it out of attention, because maybe somebody of the colleagues would be interested to look to this connection further. Following Fourrées before, it's also gilded imitation of dinar. It was found in 2011 in Ukraine, 19 millimeters in diameter, weighing about 2.13 grams. There is some cracks, and interesting for this coin from archaeological perspective that seemingly it was first put with one tool, and when the coin lost the part of margin of edge, it was repurposed with a second tool, and perhaps it was in use for the long time, which may imply that people had a high value for this object. And we put it here that it's different type of tools, one of triangle type and another almost circular. The imitation was made of quaternary bronze, which was gilded. We don't see the traces of mercury, and we see that what's interesting that this bronze is a leaded tin bronze with a relatively high content. We would say the high content of lead. We plan further to study it for the technological peculiarities. Here is under microscope. Fourrées AB5, it's a gold-plated imitation again, 19 millimeters, 232 grams. We don't see the holes, which makes it a little bit unusual. Perhaps it's imitating something like 150, 160 Hijri. Again, we see the clearly rounded loop in the Arabic letter dot in word duriba, which makes some similarities to the coin AB3, which we put a lot of attention comparing to Mancusi. On the other hand, this imitation is made of quaternary bronze with some amalgamation gilding by the technique similar to AB3, and it shows the corrosion type 2. Again, here is a very high amount of lead in composition. We currently believe that this coin was cast and later gilded, unlike AB3, which we believe was struck. Fourrées AB5 under microscope. And the last coin to represent today, if you're not bored yet, is Fourrées AB6, discovered in 2017, 19 millimeters, 375 grams. There is holes and so on the edge. Interesting that this coin is of particularly barbaric, we would say, design, which is just remotely resembles the Abbasid dinar. You may recognize attempt to reproduce what we say standard Abbasid inscriptions from the coins of the 8th century. Some of them are made in mirror and by lines. Also instead of text, there are just number of harfs, or what I would put it, just lines here. What is noteworthy is that it somehow not imitate, but it's close to the dinar, which was found in Britain and was described by Naismith in his catalog number 6 in publication of 2010. I wouldn't say it's very close, and perhaps it's just a barbaric origin of both coins make them look similar, but again we decided to invite attentions of other researchers because they might be or might be not connection among these two coins. And the gilding was clearly made by amalgamation, but the mercury to gold ratio is different to other coins which we know were made by amalgamation, speaking about the different technology. It's also noteworthy that coin has in base the minor elements like stibium, anemone, which is unusual for our local bronzes, and may imply that the bronze itself is coming perhaps from Iran, but again it's just speculation. Coin has the patina has a corrosion structure of second type. So this is coin under microscope. And just for the sake, for clarity, it's extremely schematic map of finds with known discovery sites. So number one here is Crimea. It's a coin of from publication of Sidorenko. It's actually gold Khazar imitation of 168. Number two, we just put it for purpose to understand the connection between the territories. Is a find from Derbent, Dagestan. Is a group of gold dinars from Zino. Number three here. Actually imitations UMI 1, UMI 3, UMI 4, different catacombs but very close to each other. It's Verkhny Saltiv, Kharkiv region, Ukraine. Close to them, number 4, it's about 60 kilometers. Imitation UMIF-2 from Zmievsky district, Kharkiv region. An imitation of Abbasid dinar from archaeological context, Sukha Hamilsha, 135. 135, yes, described by Golubiev. It's another 10 kilometers from number 4. And far of it, it's number 6, west of Ukraine, Zubkiv region, Lviv region, Ukraine. So coming to the conclusions, we try to be cautious, and we may say that numerous instances of Fourrées imitating dinars of 8th century have been documented within Ukraine. The archaeological context, especially from Saltivo-Mayaki burial sites, indicates that the coins perhaps appeared already in the end of the 8th century, likely via the Khazar Khaganate. Why we say that? Because currently archaeologists believe that that these burial sites, especially catacomb sites, that they were created before the end of 8th century. It's conceivable that production center for some of these imitations were situated in Northern Caucasus. It's just a theory. And later they were distributed to Ukraine. We believe that they were followed by potentially local production, which the AB6 is speaking about that. Discoveries in the western of Ukraine may demonstrate the existence of what we call horizontal cultural, we put it safely, cultural exchanges. We cannot speak about trade. We cannot speak about anything like that. It may be also movement of the people. It may be the war movement of soldiers. But let's put it like this. And during the late 8th, beginning, and we believe closer to the middle of the 9th century. 9th century. And for us, the very occurrence of Fourrées imitating dinars is indirect evidence that local population actually had acquaintance with caliphate dinars and seen them as subjects of high value. We cannot say that they were used dinars or even imitations like real money, like in trade, because there is not enough evidence for that. But we see that evidence that population knew these coins and use them as jewelry or as status items. Just to add here that the same population was also using golden solidi from Byzantium and their imitations, which we don't describe here because they go out of scope of the paper. But also both gold solidi and their imitations from Byzantium were found in the similar context. I mean, of the 8th century solidi. Thank you for your attention. I hope I didn't overuse my time too much.